From Wish TV, your local news source, this is breaking news.
And that breaking news right now on this Friday night, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has died at the age of 87. Good evening, everyone. I'm Phil Sanchez.
And I'm Brooke Martin. Justice Ginsburg was the senior member of the court's liberal wing. We want to take you out to Washington, D.C. right now. This is a live look outside of the Supreme Court where crowds are gathering. It is growing by the minute. The Supreme Court there located just adjacent from the U.S. Capitol in D.C. I would estimate from pictures I have seen so far, at least hundreds already gathered at the Supreme Court tonight. They are honoring and remembering Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a well-known woman for delivering progressive votes on divisive social issues and authoring fiery dissents. She began her tenure on the Supreme Court in 1993 when she was appointed by President Bill Clinton. Before that, she had a celebrated career as an attorney fighting for equal rights for women. Ginsburg suffered from 5 bouts of cancer. Well, tonight, reaction is pouring in over the death of Justice Ginsburg. Earlier tonight, Indiana Congressman Andre Carson said this is a sad day for America.
Deeply disappointed. I think she represents someone who's a truth teller, even in her role. She was a friend of the African-American community, the Latino community, the LGBTQ community. And I think it's a tremendous loss.
Have you ever had any interaction with her at all?
I have. I've met her a couple of times, found her to be warm and cordial.
Meanwhile, former Indiana Democratic Party Chairman Kip Tu says he thinks Republicans will not waste any time in trying to fill Ginsburg's seat on the Supreme Court. Listen.
In 2016, when we had an opening in the Supreme Court, and Barack Obama named Merrick Garland, nominated Merrick Garland in January or February of that year.
Right.
Mitch McConnell said that they weren't going to take it up because it was an election year, but he has said since then that he's going to go ahead and try to fill it if there were an opening this time, and I think he's going to try to fill it.
Do you think 40 days is enough time to do that?
I absolutely do not. I mean, I don't want it to happen. I don't think it should happen, but I don't put anything past these folks.
And Justice Ginsburg's loss being felt all across the country, including at home here in Indiana. Joining us now is the former Chief Justice to the Indiana Supreme Court, Justice Randall Shepard, who I understand, Justice Shepard, you had a personal relationship with Justice Ginsburg.
I did, and hallelujah that I had that opportunity to know her over a period of years. She was a splendid human being and somebody you'd enjoy having as a friend.
When did you first meet her?
I think it was perhaps 10 or 12 years ago, every bit of that. She came to Indianapolis a time or two, spoke at the McKinney School of Law here in the city. And so I knew her at least from then, and had the occasion to interact with her on various occasions afterward.
What was your reaction when you heard of her passing?
I felt profoundly sad. She was a terrific contributor to the rule of law, to the judicial system, to the country. And although I think people would say it wasn't a surprise, it was still painful to hear that she had passed away.
What do you want people to know about Justice Ginsburg that may be watching this tonight?
Well, among her many other characteristics was a terrific sense of humor. I chaired an American Bar Association commission perhaps 7 or 8 years ago, and when we finished our report, I sent it to her and to the other members of the court, and I signed the letter, including at the bottom, sincerely yours, Randall T. Shepard, Chief Justice, 1987. 2012, and I wrote along the bottom that Indiana, something I knew she'd want to know, that Indiana had at that moment, the Chief Justice and the Chief Judge of the Court of Appeals and the Chief Judge of the Tax Court were all women, and I knew she'd want to know that. The letter came back immediately, and she wrote under that, "You're too young to retire." That's Ruth Ginsburg.
Certainly a good person. Is it too early to talk politics here and what the next steps may be?
I know she'd be sad at the fact that her death will provoke a serious national political struggle. I'm sure she knew that when she died, but she will nevertheless have been sorry that that was the case, regardless of which side of that debate you're on. It's a sad moment when you know that your death will set in motion a potentially ugly national conflict. And I'm sorry that she had to experience that and know it in her final days.
Do you expect said conflict to happen before the election?
I do. It's hard for me to see that it wouldn't. And in fact, it's hard to see that it wouldn't, regardless of who the president was and who was controlling the Senate. I think that sadly, the odds are that if the Democratic Party would do largely what the Republican Party will probably do, and that's the country would be better off if we weren't in that sort of era.
One last question for you before we let you go, and I appreciate your time. Out of everything that she's accomplished, what would you say, in your personal opinion, is her biggest legacy?
I think Ruth Ginsburg's greatest legacy will be her connection to all of the other people in the legal realm, that she gave everybody a chance to understand that what our obligation is to the American public, and that she helped us appreciate what our duty and our obligation was to help in our own way to make the country a success.
Brooke, I'll send it back to you now.
All right, thanks so much. One woman on President Trump's radar for the Supreme Court has strong ties to Indiana. Judge Amy Coney Barrett of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 7th Circuit. Judge Barrett graduated from the Notre Dame Law School and has been a member of the law school's faculty since 2002. Coming up at 10:30, a further look back at Justice Ginsburg's life and career. But for now, our coverage continues online. There we have reaction as it comes in right now at wishtv.com.